Welcome to Connections, Business, and Leadership. I'm excited to be with you. I'm your host, Walter Collins, the Solution Specialist, and this is the place where we bring together biblical wisdom and practical business strategies to equip kingdom and small business leaders for good success. Today, we're talking about something that's both deeply personal and also universal: your voice. The title of this episode is No Longer Silent: Why Your Voice Matters in Connections with Business and Leadership. If you know me, yes, this episode connects directly to the book I wrote and published it in June. It's called No Longer Silent: Unlocking the Power of Your Voice. It is a very easy read, and it is now available on Amazon only. In the book, I talk about the importance of finding your voice, overcoming fear, discovering your identity, and allowing yourself to speak with confidence in every situation of life. What I didn't realize at first was how much the same principles apply in every single area of life, including business and leadership. So let's get into it. Here's a question to start out. Where and what has silence been costing you? As a coach and consultant, I'm a problem solver. Well, before that, I'm a man of God. What that means for me is I bring him into everything I do. He's the ultimate specialist, and I just give him a place to work. There was a time in my life when that just wasn't the case. I chose silence over courage. I chose the safety of silence over the boldness to speak. Chances are you've been there a time or two yourself. I stayed silent because I thought it was easier. I stayed silent because I didn't want to offend anyone. I stayed silent because I didn't want to stand out. And I also thought that someone else would step up and say what needed to be said. At least I hope so. The hard truth is, I was afraid, but silence didn't serve me, and it didn't serve my calling, and it definitely didn't serve the people God wanted me to reach. I began to ask God to help me make some changes. I had to step into boldness. It isn't something that just magically happens. That's one reason why No Longer Silent was written. Catch this now. I realized my silence wasn't humility. It was actually disobedience. God gave me something to say, and I chose not to say it. Here's one thing I've discovered. The choice to remain silent can be a heavy price to pay and at times cost people dearly. You may not even realize this. For the kingdom business leader, silence can keep you from sharing the very word that might set people free. For the small business owner, silence can keep you from closing the sale, from inspiring your team, or from launching the vision that changes everything in your business. Silence is not cheap. So let me ask you this again. Where and what has silence been costing you? I know it's a tough question, but we have to answer these tough questions. Let's talk about why leaders can't afford to stay silent. From a biblical perspective first, Scripture is very clear. Esther 4:14 says this: "For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this." Esther is told silence would cost her everything. Leadership exists for moments where voices must be heard. Joshua 1:8 says this book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate in it day and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. Did you catch that? Good success is tied to what's in your mouth. Good success is tied to what you speak. In episode 2, we're going to talk more about this. But Proverbs 8:21 reminds us that death and life are in the power of the tongue. Silence isn't neutral. When you withhold your words, you withhold your power. When you remain silent, you withhold the very weapons God has given you to change things. From a business perspective, the same principle applies. Silence and silent leaders confuse their teams. Silent owners lose sales. Silent entrepreneurs get overlooked. Silent salespeople don't make sales. My wife is always making jokes about my little sayings and how she can't follow some of the things I say. So here's one of these for you, and hopefully you can follow it. There's an old saying that goes like this. It may be from an old rap lyric, but it simply goes, "Closed mouths don't get fed." Silence leads to unmet needs and missed opportunities. Think about this in business. People will not buy from the quietest voice in the marketplace. It just won't happen. They will buy from the clearest voice, though. They buy from the one who communicates. Here's who I am, here's what I do, and here's how I can serve you. They buy from people they know, like, and trust. And that trust only comes from them getting to know you. Silence is a very expensive thing. In marketplace business, silence costs sales. In the kingdom business, silence costs souls. Very expensive. So, how do we break out of the silence? Take ownership of the real you and have courage in the person you've been created to be. Let me be very clear. Courage doesn't mean being the loudest person in the room either. Courage can mean being the clearest person, though, having the clearest voice. For the kingdom business person, ask God to help. Have what I call Godfidence over confidence. That means have more confidence in God speaking through you than having confidence in your ability to speak clearly. It means sharing a word of encouragement with someone when God prompts you to. It means speaking life over your family, employees, your clients, and your community. For the small business person, courage looks like this: clarity. Speak clearly, not in circles. It means telling your team exactly where you're headed and why. It means casting a clear vision that others can pick up and run with. It means showing up in the marketplace with a consistent voice, whether that's through marketing, networking, or client relationships. The world is noisy. We all know that. But noise isn't the same as clarity. Your voice, your one-of-a-kind voice, when rooted in truth and purpose, will cut through the noise every time. You have to put being no longer silent into a constant state of practice. Like anything else, that's how you get good at anything, right? Practice. Practice and practice some more. So let's bring this all together. Your world requires a clear voice that only you have. Silence holds us back, but courage unlocks influence, impact, and opportunity. For the kingdom leader, your faith is not a liability in business. It's your blueprint for good success. Speak like God speaks, create like the Creator, and be bold in your words. For the small business owner, your voice sets the tone. It builds the culture. It helps to drive your growth. So here's the takeaway. Your voice matters. Your voice is your vehicle for influence, impact, and good success. When you speak the right words, don't stay silent. Step up, speak out, and lead boldly. I encourage you to check out my book also, No Longer Silent, Unlocking the Power of Your Voice, where I share a lot more of my personal journey and also a lot of biblical lessons backed by scripture. That's available on Amazon now. You can get that in a Kindle version also. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. It's called Connections, Business, and Leadership. We're here to equip both kingdom and small business leaders like you to achieve good success using God's blueprint. Thank you for joining me today. Be someone's solution today. Blessings. One other thing I want to share with you, and this is the most important thing about Walter Lavelle Collins. Jesus is the Lord of my life, and without him, there would be no opportunity to not be silent. I wouldn't have the confidence that I have or the Godfidence that I have. I wouldn't be the person I am without accepting Jesus to be the Lord of my life. If that's something that I can help you with, if there's something that I can pray for you on, make sure you shoot me a message, shoot me an email, and we can jump on the phone together and I'll be glad to pray with you. Be blessed today. And again, go be someone's solution. I'll see you next time.